Hello, everybody.
What up out there? Back again, Trainer Talk Tuesday.
Yes, thank you guys for joining in our weekly Trainer Talk Tuesdays. My name is Larissa Reynolds,
I'm Nate Reynolds, of course.
and we are the owners of Never Settle Fitness. And today we want to address your at-home workouts. So, are you doing your at-home workouts wrong? Okay, so we want to go over a few things to look for to make sure that you are utilizing your time at home for your exercise routine appropriately and that you're getting the best work out of the effort that you're putting in. So these are 4 things to look for and to take note of to know if you are doing your at-home workouts wrong. Okay, so we'll get right into it. The first one is
Pain in joints.
pain in your joints, guys. This is not normal. Now, obviously, people have different factors that may play into this. Maybe you had a knee replacement surgery and you're always going to have pain in your knee. But in general speaking, when you're working out, you should not have pain in your joints at all. Okay? And if you do have past injuries that would make you have pain in these areas all the time, then exercising could actually improve it, but it definitely shouldn't make it worse. So knees, elbows, wrists, things like that, you want to make sure that you're staying pain free. And that kind of goes into the next point.
Right. Which is going to be no muscle soreness, too much muscle soreness, which could pretty much be a result of not doing exercises correctly, where you are putting a lot of strain on the joints instead of the muscles, so you're being overly sore in all the wrong places, where you may have just a slight bit of burn on the quadriceps, the biceps, or the pecs, whatever it is you train, but you're feeling a lot in your knees, you're feeling a lot in your ankles, your elbows, your shoulders. Those are areas the next day and the next day after the workout, you should not be super sore in those areas, if any at all. Again, you could have some past surgery or injury or something that occurred in that area. Maybe the weather is changing and that can be effective for you. I know I have that issue with my left leg there, so sometimes pain comes and goes depending on what season we're in. But primarily when it comes to working out, you should not be feeling pain overly sore in the joint areas, or for the most part on the other side there, not being sore enough. So when it comes to not being sore enough, that means that maybe you could be getting a good workout. This is something I kind of used to do when I first started working out. I would work out like almost every day, but I was never really sore. Coming to find out, the more I got to learn, is that I wasn't doing my movements correctly. So you can do a whole lot of something that's really not nothing. Yeah, it may feel good and it's better than doing nothing at all, but it's still, you're not sore enough because you're not really breaking muscles down and you're not implementing them the way you're supposed to.
Yeah, and this also goes into no muscle soreness can be just as simple as you're just not training hard enough. And then too much muscle soreness means that you might just be overtraining. Maybe you're pushing yourself too hard, a little bit too much for what your body is ready to handle. So keep that in mind, guys. Listen to your body. It will communicate with you. Number 3 is going to be lack of variety or lack of progressive overload. So we see this often when people get into a at-home workout routine or just a routine on their own. They don't really switch up anything, and this isn't good because it's not going to allow you to get the results that you need going forward. So your body is going to adapt to whatever you put it through, and if you want to get good results, then you need to have variety in your routine, and you need to practice progressive overload. So progressive overload in simple terms means that you are increasing the difficulty in your workouts. You're challenging yourself. You're increasing the weights, okay? When I talk about variety, I mean that you are changing either the weight, the number of sets that you're doing, the exercises, the equipment that you use, maybe the tempo that you perform that movement in. Something has to change in the workout for you to change, okay? You have to provoke that change for you to get results. So add some variety, challenge yourself in your workouts, take your body to that next point where you're struggling to get those last 2 reps in or so. And then number 4 are your workouts goal specific? So the workout I'm doing for my goals may not be the same program design that you need, okay? So just because you see a workout posted online, that doesn't mean that it's catered to your current fitness goals. And as Nate mentioned before, it's always better to do something than nothing at all. We're never going to discourage physical activity or movement, but it needs to be goal specific. So if I have a friend that wants to lose 100 pounds, but I'm trying to put on 10 pounds of muscle mass, our workout routines are going to look different because our goals are different. So make sure that what you're doing is catered to what your actual goals are. That way you're not losing time and you are working directly towards getting yourself closer to that end result that you want. All right, guys. So now that we kind of identified things to look for to know if what you're doing at home is incorrect or if you could make some changes to better improve your at-home workouts, let's get into the main topic of conversation today, which is going to be your form and why it's important. So we're going to talk about your form. We are form sticklers here at Never Settle Fitness. We put form on a high priority list here because it is incredibly important. And we have given you guys 3 reasons why we believe that form should be held very sacred and it should be something that is mastered before moving on in your workout routine. So regardless if you are working at home or when all this is over with the pandemic that we're currently going through, when you're working back out in a gym, these are things that you need to practice to make sure that you're having and practicing good form. So Nate's gonna take you through number 1 here.
So number 1, first and foremost, when it comes to working out, with everything, when it comes to exercise, is gonna be your safety. You always wanna make sure that you're safe. You wanna make sure you're safe on a multitude of different things. First and foremost, are you even safe with the trainer? Is that trainer knowledgeable? Is he professional? Is he credible? Is he going to be good enough to help you get to your goals? Remember, that's something we talked about in one of the first segments that we did here with the Trainer Talk Tuesdays. But in this terms, when it comes to being safe, are you keeping your body in a position of not being susceptible to injury or being at injury risk? For the most part is where we get to with that one. So that's kind of common. That's a concern that a lot of you have before you even go into a gym is working out is, am I going to get hurt in there? You know, all the things that can possibly go wrong. And I'm upfront with a lot of people. I tell them right off the bat, there is a lot that can go wrong. So when I ask you to do a box jump or I ask you to do a step up or overhead press, there's a multitude of things that can happen there where that weight can fall on you. You could trip, you can sprain your wrist, you can trip over the front of the box as you jump and you can fall and you can damage something else. So there is a lot of reasons to be concerned, but at the same time, you always want to make sure you're working with the proper professional that knows what he/she is doing, and they're keeping you in a position where you know that everything you're doing, you're being watched, you're being led, you're being taught, and you're being shown the correct way of how it should not only look, but feel at the same time.
Yeah, and this definitely plays a role with your at-home workouts because if you are not used to being in an exercise routine and you don't have a natural reaction on how to move properly when you're doing certain movements, or maybe you don't even know what a lot of these exercises are that are being shown to you during this quarantine time, it's very easy to hurt yourself when you don't have that, you know, background in knowledge and education, or if you just naturally don't move well to begin with. So your safety is definitely a priority and it's something to think about. If you are working out at home and you are not comfortable, do not try to lift weights that you're not ready for. Try to use common sense. And as Nate said, get into the hands of a professional because they are really going to help you and limit that injury risk that you're taking by working out in the first place.
Right. And last thing I want to throw on there, I feel like I should mix this in at some point. I can probably add it in anywhere, but since it's on the edge of my brain, I wanted to kind of go ahead and throw it in right now. And when it also comes to safety too, you want to make sure, like I said, that you're doing those movements and you can feel what they feel like and you know what they look like. But that way, when it goes down the line and you get into it and maybe you run into someone that is trying to get into it and they can't get into it with a professional, and their body isn't in a position to actually do some of those progressive movements that we kind of spoke about before. And that can be a danger too when it comes to safety, is not being flexible or rangeful enough to be able to complete certain movements. And you need to be a little bit truthful with yourself when it comes to exercising, where maybe it's even best you even just reach out to a professional to start, to get a little leeway. Because if your body is in a position to move the way that you think you're going to move, like a lot of the DVDs and videos you guys watch and try to follow, a lot of those things are very advanced. So maybe, or I know firsthand, a lot of you aren't ready necessarily for that. So you want to make sure that your body is ready to keep that pace and be able to do those type of movements. Because if you don't, like we already established, you will be doing your workouts wrong. You will be putting a lot of strain and pain on the joints instead of implementing the muscles.
Yeah, it's important to be honest with yourself with where your current fitness level is. And that kind of gets us into point number 2, which is going to be the quality of not just your workouts, but your results long term. So we want to make sure that the quality is high, obviously, and that you are using the right muscles, that you are engaging the correct muscles for the workout and exercises that you're performing. So basically what I mean by this is, if you are doing a push-up and you want to, focus on your chest, shoulders, triceps for that day, that you are not having a dip in your back because of lack of core strength, and you're trying to use more of your back to perform that movement, or your hips, than your actual chest. Okay, that's what we mean. We don't want you to start incorporating different muscles that were never designed for that movement. And that's very common, guys. We want to make sure that you keep the quality high and that you are engaging the correct muscles, because your body is going to start recruiting different muscles if it sees a weakness. Okay, if there's a weak point and you're trying to do a move that is too advanced for your current fitness level, different muscles are going to recruit to try to work together to get you from point A to point B, but that's not necessarily the best option. Okay, we don't want to do that, because then again, that goes back to number 1, your safety. You could injure yourself if you are putting yourself in a compromised position like that.
And not only could you will.
Yeah,
Let's just call it what it is. You will injure yourself. We have been in the business now for a while, and we have seen a lot of people that have worked out for a while. Maybe they were even at other gyms and they wasn't being led properly, or their needs wasn't being followed enough, and they were kind of being left out there. So they were doing movements that they wasn't ready for, and that wasn't serviceable to what their goal was. So it wasn't really getting them closer to the results that they came to the gym for, and that results in them getting an injury, and that turns into a lot of other issues. But you will get hurt if you aren't doing things properly, if you don't have a good high quality. And something else that could be said about the quality of those workouts and the use of the proper muscles is, I'm gonna just give you a good example. This is something that we have both seen. We have worked with a few military personnel in our career, and these guys, they base a lot of their trainings off like push-ups, running, pull-ups, sit-ups, stuff like that. So when they come in, that's something that is kind of based around a lot of the training we do, is to kind of see an increase in those numbers, get stronger in those general areas,
the PT test
so that
easier.
they can burn through and pass their PT tests a lot easier with flying colors. But a lot of these guys, and just to fast forward, they come in and their push-up forms are horrible, and maybe right off the bat they can come in and they can give me 50 push-ups, but they're 50 incorrect push-ups. And now when I go ahead and I change him up and I put his hands and his shoulders and everything, and I raise his hips and I give him proper alignment, now that 50 push-ups turns into about 25. So those muscles, those results that client is looking for, or that you are looking for, you're trying to get, all I'm saying is that if you're not using the proper muscles, if you're not actually engaging those muscles that exercise is designed for, then you're not going to get to those results. And like I said before, you can be doing something where you're not getting sore enough, like you're still doing something, but you're really not accomplishing anything. You really don't have a purpose. You're really not training. You're just working out.
Yeah, and guys, despite popular belief, there's just no room for your ego in the gym. And I say that with all sincerity. You need to learn to humble yourself sometimes in the gym. You may not be able to lift the weight that you want to lift, or do the number of reps like Nate mentioned that you want to do, or that you think that you can do. You need to humble yourself and maybe take a step back and kind of start from scratch and really perfect that form, because that form is really the true standard testing of strength. If you have good form and you can do 50 push-ups, well, that opens up the door to a lot of different things, and that's going to increase your bench press and all these other things that you may care about. And that goes into number 3 as well, which is going to be your long-term results and effects that you're going to get from working out on a consistent basis with proper form.
Yep. Something we like to call, or everyone like to call these days, aging like fine wine. That's something you want to kind of think about, and that's something that's true. So if you're doing everything correctly, you're implementing the proper muscles and everything of that nature, then as time goes on, not only do you look good today, like those muscles, that six-pack, everything today still looks good, but as time goes on, as you age, you still feel good. Your joints and everything, like we talked about it before, they're not inflamed, they're not torn down, they're not overly worked or put to the point where you have to get some type of replacement on them because we put too much pressure and strain on them in ways that they were never designed to have. So making sure you're doing everything the proper way, extremely, extremely important if you just want to continue to feel good as time goes on down the line.
Yep, and it's also, guys, we want to take in consideration your range of motion, your current range of motion and what you're able to do. And then also long-term, like we want you to continue to have full range of motion. We don't want to limit your range of motion to do heavier weights or to be able to perform a movement now. We're thinking end goal here, long term. We want to take into consideration your mobility, your flexibility. These things matter, and depending on your age now, they may matter more or less to you, but I can guarantee you that as you age, they are going to matter the most to you. So take care of your body. Exercise and working out should complement those things. They should increase the value and the quality of these things. They should not diminish them. So if they are diminishing them, then that's when you will know that you are not doing your at-home workouts correctly, or you're not incorporating all the things that you need to complete a full workout routine.
And great examples of this, I'm gonna give you 2 celebrities that's kind of known, and from everything that I see, and I've read about these 2 from following them. One is an actress, and I kind of liked her on a TV show growing up, and she played in a lot of movies and was funny. I like her. And then another is a athlete of mine I was never a huge fan of, but as I learned more about what he does to prepare to continue to play, and he's still playing out at a high level, I was very impressed, and that's Tom Brady and Jennifer Aniston. These are 2 people who are very, very well known in their careers and their professions of taking care of their body at a next level. Now, we can say that they're doing all these other things, and who knows, maybe they are, but I do know that they got a high work ethic and they got great diet regimens, and they're training and doing everything properly. And when I'm talking about training and doing everything for Jennifer Aniston, I'm talking more of stretching and just taking care of her body and being patient with the process, understanding that doing these things every day for the long-term effect is going to continue to keep her in play where she can still get those high roles, or she can still feel good and do things with her family down the line, or whatever that entails. And for Tom Brady, on the other hand, we know what that looks like for him. If you follow sports at all, he's still trying to play until he's 45. Right now, he's looking good, just signed a new contract, but we know the avocado ice cream rumors and a little stuff like that we tried to make before.
They matter.
But yeah, they matter. All of that stuff's matter, and Tom Brady's a walking example of it. Plyometrics, so stretching, taking care of the body. We like to say here it's a marathon and not a sprint, so that goes into safety because we're never trying to rush you through the process. You should never feel sped up or just trying to get it through. You should always want to take your time and be patient with the process to make sure that you're at low risk of injury, you're actually implementing the right muscles, and you're actually getting closer and closer and closer to the goal you got set for yourself.
Long-term thinking, guys. And this is honestly all these different points that we touched base on. This is why we believe that you and everybody else should take advantage of virtual training during this time and work with a professional, because guys, it's going to make all the difference. You can watch all the DVDs that you want, but all these things are going to play a role in whether you're going to get good results and if you are going to take care of your body long term, and if it's going to be working for you or against you as you age. So those are definitely things to keep into consideration and to really focus on. And I think Nate and I are very different in our approach with virtual training, because we still offer so many different tiers that are going to make sure that you are at the greatest benefit and chance of, you know, keeping yourself safe, practicing good form, you know, focusing on those long-term effects and the quality of your results in your workouts. Because the way that we design our virtual training, we are still very hands-on with you. We still offer one-on-one virtual training where we are guiding you through each movement. We're demonstrating it for you live, and we are catering the workout to your current fitness levels, your range of motion, where you're at now and where you want to be. We correct your form during your session and make sure that you're not putting yourself in a compromised position. And even in our lower tiers where maybe you're not getting that one-on-one individualized attention, we still provide live workouts for you guys to do with us at home, and we provide the modifications for you to do if you are not able to do them at the level that we are during the workout. So we're constantly reminding you, hey, get your hips down. Hey, do this on your knees. Remember, this is an option. You should do this. How are you feeling? Talk to us. We are communicating with you the whole time, regardless of what package you use for our virtual training. We are hands-on and we are invested in your overall health, but your form, your safety, and the quality of your workout, as well as those long-term effects. We are here with you and for you.
With you, for you, and as Larissa said, basically that sums up to, it's a learning experience still. You're still being taught. We still want to teach you and help you, because I know a lot of those things are great that you can do even on your own, or if you're just watching a workout, or heck, even if you're just trying to do a workout that you see posted online, but it doesn't have anybody that's critiquing you and actually showing you, hey, this is what this movement is supposed to look like and this is what it should feel like. Because if you're trying something new for the first time and you're doing a movement and you don't necessarily know what that movement should feel like because you never actually done anything to engage your quadriceps or your lats or whatever the muscle is, and now you're doing it for the first time, but you don't know what it's supposed to feel like or what it looks like. And like Larissa said, those questions, hey, what are you feeling? No one there is to ask you and to inform you on what it is that you should be looking for and what it should feels like. And when it all comes to that, professionals are still important at this moment. Yep. Very important for a multitude of reasons, and primarily, like we did this video for your safety. You always want to be safe. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. There's a lot to be learned here, and then after that short bit of learning, after that stint, then you can take that knowledge and you can take that know-how and you can continue to implement it in down the line as you continue to age like that fine wine we talked about.
Yep. And we would love to hear from you guys. Are you working out at home right now during this time? If you are, what do those workouts look like? What do they consist of? And we would love to help you in any way possible. So let us know in the comments what you're doing now, maybe things that you have noticed that need to be improved on, and we would love to guide you in the right direction. And if you guys are watching this on replay, #replay, so we know that you joined us later on. And we love you guys. We're here for you. Feel free to go to neversettlefitness.org and you can schedule a complimentary consultation for your virtual training. And we would love to set up that video chat with you and help you further along in keeping you safe and reaching all of your health and fitness goals. So guys, we love you. And as always,
yep, never give up,
never lose hope,
and
never settle. Bye guys.
Yep.